Hey everybody, what's up? We're back. It's those wrestling girls. It's your girl Krista B.
And Queen PR.
And today we are doing a spotlight on Tamina. Tamina has had an illustrious career. Um Matter of fact, I wouldn't even say illustrious because I feel like with her career, like somebody pointed it out on Twitter that most of her career she played the bodyguard and like she was in that role. But we're definitely going to get all into the Tamina talk in a minute. But I definitely have to do and want to do a check-in, a mental check-in. So P, how you doing? How you been? What's been going
It's
on with you?
been it's been a crazy few weeks, girl.
Yeah.
A lot of ups and downs, but I can't really complain because we're very blessed. And yeah, so I've been trying to really think on the positive side of things because there's a lot of amazing things going on. But it was nice to get vulnerable on Thirsty Thursday recently, that we did with our special guests, Lovely and Russell Bay and April, with Face Be Heal. It was really nice to like really talk about what's really going on in our lives because it's fun to talk about wrestling, but it was really nice to really be able to share that with them.
Yeah, I agree. It was a very opening moment. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I feel like because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, it's like a lot of things have been very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, although we say hey, we put on smiles and whatever, like it's been a really heavy, month, and it's only 17 days in.
Yeah.
Like only 17 days, and it's been a really, really heavy month. But like I said on Thursday, I just gotta get through it one day at a time. Find a therapist like I did. I found a therapist. Write stuff down, pray, do whatever it is you need to do. Things will definitely get better as time goes on. Just don't hold it all to yourself.
Right. Exactly. And everybody has been really supportive, especially like just recently us being like kind of uninspired by just like women's wrestling and WWE for a little bit, and I'm slowly getting that spark back. Slowly, I'm excited for Raw tonight. At the time of recording this, Backlash just WrestleMania Backlash just happened. But yeah, so but you've been good, Krista.
Um, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not good, not bad. I'm okay.
I feel you.
Baby steps. You know. Blessed more than ever. It recently hit me. Like I've been in my own place since December,
Wow.
but it's starting to hit me like, yo, this is my own space. Like this is me. This is where I pay rent. This,
Oh, you girl.
I have my own keys. Well, I had my own keys before, but it's just like, oh, yep, this is me. This is it. So I feel like it's like little wins like that keep me going, and people I could be like, oh yeah, you come into my house where I pay rent, where I stay. Like it's not my house with my sister or with any relatives or anything. It's mine. The only relative I have is the dog Leo for right
Mm-hmm.
now. But yeah, like it's a cool it's a
And
cool
even that's
feeling. It's a
nice,
cool
I'm
feeling.
sure, having a dog.
Um, he's a baby, so it's a lot.
Mm,
Like, and I'm doing a favor for one of my friends. But he's going back home Memorial Weekend.
okay.
It's a lot, especially with me living the lifestyle that I live. I'm always busy, always on the go, never really home. So I have to like stop and make sure he gets walked. Like it's an adjustment that I don't think I'm ready to make yet. It was like kind of just. Don't get me wrong. Like I would keep him if I could, but right now I'm at a fast pace. He just needs to be around someone who's like always home or someplace that has like a yard or something like that.
Yeah,
And my apartment is too small for a dog. It's big for me, but too small for a dog.
I feel
So
you.
yeah.
Well, it was good to have a heartwarming moment, last week at
Right.
SmackDown with Tamina and Talia finally winning the tag team championships, and especially for Tamina because she's been at the company for so long and has really deserved it. How did you feel when she won?
Excuse me. I was happy. It's long overdue. Like I don't understand why WWE does not put their best foot forward when it comes down to these women, when it comes even to the men. Like stop putting these strong people in middle card sections and you know intros and then having to be bodyguards. Like that's not fair to the talent. And then people get upset, or mostly WWE get upset when or why they moved here. Their name is banned from this and this, that, and third, whatever. But look at how you treating them. You understand? Like I appreciate, and I'm so happy for Tamina. I'm
Mm,
happy for Natty. You know, they're legends in this industry. They're generational legends. You know, they come from it. It's in their bloodline. So I'm happy that they were able to conquer and succeed and win the tag team championship. And I was so happy that it was taken off for Shayna and Nia.
finally.
I can't stand it.
Finally, like it was cute at first, but after a few pay-per-views, especially WrestleMania, I was like, okay, when is this gonna change hands?
I kind of felt like that, you know, sticking in the bloodline with Roman's match too. Like
Mm.
if Cesaro would have, even though I'm wearing, I had to pull out the vintage Roman Empire
Ooh,
shirt
love.
tonight, you see. But if Cesaro would have won yesterday, last night, I wouldn't have been mad.
Same. I'm kind of ready
But
for
you know,
that too.
Roman won, so we got some points on the draft. So I'm good on that. We got some points. Um,
Good.
but yeah, I would not have been upset with if he would have lost because
Yeah.
Cesaro gave his
Did.
everything
And he's another
in that
person just like
match.
Tamina that's overdue.
Way overdue. I feel like they're gonna have to do his build a little bit more um
Mm,
before they give it to him. But I feel like Cesaro is definitely gonna be the next champion.
I can see that. I can see
That's
that.
what I'm gonna
So I I noticed like with when we're like planning out episodes, just because like life gets in the way and episodes fall through the cracks. So a fun fact about this episode, guys, is that we have had these Tamina notes probably for like a year to do a spotlight on her for a while. And we can't remember if we did a spotlight on her already or not. So it's been one of those things where it's like on the docket, not on the docket. But what's hilarious, well, not hilarious, but it's just like the universe always comes together for us, is that now I happened to find when I was cleaning off my desk to record these episodes, I found the Tamina notes and I was like, oh, perfect timing. She just won the championship. Time to cover Tamina. So it was sort of the right time because if we would have recorded this episode a year ago, it would have been all about how she's overdue and how she's this. And now we can talk about this and she's a current champion.
current champion, first time ever champion.
Oh, which
Like,
is, well, she was, I don't know if you count the 24/7 championship.
oh, okay, no, I do. That is a, yeah, I do count that. So that was her very first championship, but it still shouldn't have even been that.
Right, right,
You
right.
understand? It should have never been that. She was there during the Divas era. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she was. No, wait, I'm lying. No, yes, no, I'm not lying. She was there during like the Divas era. She was AJ Lee's bodyguard. She would fight like that whole. I remember when Vicky Guerrero set up the match and AJ Lee had to defend her Divas championship and um Tamina was one of the competitors in that match. You could see like Tamina was
Mm-hmm.
looking shocked, but like when she turned her face away, she was smiling like, "Yes, this is my moment, it's my opportunity," and you
Yeah,
still lose.
right. And there's
Like
some probably
they
so
made
many
her
moments.
lose.
Yeah, so many moments like that. But some fun facts about Tamina. Um, she's a Capricorn, which I love. I don't know why that's so random on her on her on her page. But she of course, I don't know, everyone should probably know this. She's a daughter of Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
R.I.P.
And another, I'm reading these notes, and we were sending her love for because the Jimmy Snuka Dark Side of the Ring episode had just aired, I guess. So I guess we wanted to like
That's
send
why
her
we
some
wanted to
support.
do it. We wanted to, yes, because a lot of people were coming at her dad and coming
Yes.
at,
Yes.
her and like, why are you doing this? And oh, I see why she dropped the name Snooker and all this other nonsense and stuff. At the end of the day, yeah, granted, we're not sure whatever happened between like Jimmy Snooker and his girlfriend at the time is the truth or not. But this is still this woman's father at the end of
Yes.
the day.
Yes. And
Whatever
she
the
didn't do
public
it.
saw might not have been what she saw behind closed doors.
Hmm.
So don't try to turn her against her father. You
Yeah.
understand? Like he been through a hell of a lot. You know,
Hmm.
he passed away last year, right? Or 2018?
Recently.
Yeah. So like don't do that, especially coming from someone who has lost their father. Like that's true. Like your father is like your first, for girls. So it's
Mhm.
just like don't do that.
Don't
Like
do
don't be
that,
trolled.
right? And then also again, like this is not her, like whatever he might have done is on him. But I think that's so like wow, we were really supposed to do this episode last year. But she debuted in 2010, so she's been with the company over a decade,
She debuted with her
and
cousins too, the Usos.
yes. Shout out to the Usos. Another great time, and the Usos are in a great storyline with Roman Reigns, and it goes to shout out to Baker because y'all Samoan, y'all doing it right now.
Period. Roman Empire. Period.
Like I really like winning, and it's even greater because she's tag team champions with Natalia, and we have actually talked on the show about the possible either feud, or I had preferred a feud because of the family history and the family dynasty, and it came up like maybe because of her father they want to shy away from that, but now they kind of went the other direction and having them tag team, and they do discuss Tamina's legacy. She's doing the her father's move, and she actually won with that move. She pinned I don't know, I don't remember if she pinned Naya or Shayna, but she was actually able to pin with her finisher and win the match. So that was so dope. And when she debuted with the Usos, they feuded with the Hart Dynasty, which was Tyson Kidd, Davey Boy Smith, and Natalia. So it's like everything literally came like full circle. It seems like.
Full circle. Definitely full circle moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um the one thing I feel like when Natalia they missed out when Natalia not Natalia, I'm sorry, Tamina missed out on, she was injured a lot. Like she had
Mm,
lagging injuries, and so those times where and plus she's also a mother. So,
right.
her son comes first before anything else. So it's like she kind of missed out a lot, you know. But every time she came back, she bounced back,
I
and I'm
agree.
glad that they actually given her chance and her shot now.
I agree. And just thinking back at all that she's done over the last 10 years, and like I had listened to this. She was on Lillian Garcia's podcast, and like I almost started crying listening to it because she got really passionate at one point talking about because Lillian asked her like, how does it feel to see Nia Jax be pushed so far so early? And because if you think about it, Nia was in NXT for this long. She went to the main roster, became champion like not too long after that, and she's been pretty much featured heavily since then. And Tamina, of course, is happy for Nia, but she did express a little bit like, I work just as hard as everyone else. I've been here for this long. It sucks having to prove yourself. She talked about getting merch and how long it took her to get merch. And it's really heartbreaking that we, were able to speak to Jazz, harmless plug, and we talked about women having merch and Maria Kanellis, and just like the fight to just be perceived by management in the same way that other people are. And I'm sure you want to be the first Polynesian women's champion because you've worked so hard for it, and then your cousin comes, or I forget how her and Naya is related, but she comes in, and she's
I
kind
don't
of
know
put
how
on this.
they're related either.
Yeah, Letty was just like, yo, we need. Can you give me like a family tree? Because I need to know like how the Rock's related to the Usos and how Tamina comes in and how Nia
I
Jax.
think with the Usos and the Rock and Roman, I think the Rock and Roman are first cousins or some type of second cousins or whatever because Peter Maivia and his mom something with them and the
Mm,
Wild Samoans. So being that the Usos and Roman are actual first cousins, only like probably some months apart from each other,
yeah.
that will make them, related.
Okay.
And Tamina comes in because Jimmy Fly Snooker and I mean, when your grandfather, the high chief, you related to all Samoans, and that's just the
Right.
what it is. You don't ask
Right.
no questions.
Everybody's family, exactly. That's all we really need to know. And Roman's the head of the table, I guess. That's all we really need to
All right, you got one more
know.
time.
No, that's all I said.
I know I'm saying you got one more time.
Oh, in general.
In general, in life.
Okay, okay, I got you. So what really made you? Because you've always rocked out for Tamina, and I gotta say, I
Always.
was not. I recently was, kind of like appreciative. I was really kind of just like could take her or leave her, and then I wasn't like on her. It was just like I fuck with everybody, but I was like, but you really always wrote out for her. But what was it about Tamina that really made you, be a fan?
One, she's Samoan. Two, I
Obvious.
just love their bloodline, their dynasty. Like going back to watching the Wild Samoans, High Chief Peter Maivia. Like I love like the dynamic that they have, and they always stood for unity, and they always stood for something. Not saying that other wrestling families or families in general don't, but I love how the Samoans like come for one of us, come for all of us type situation. Excuse me. And then with Tamina, it was just like this is something different. Like I said, she appeared in the Divas era. She was the China of the Divas era, if you will.
Right.
China was Attitude Era. She came in, she did what she had to do. She was one of the guys, but always the outcast when it came out to the females. And I feel like Tamina, they were trying to put Tamina in that same light, and it
Yeah.
really didn't work for her that way because of the fact of one, the injuries, two, she was much greater than what they was putting her out to be because of the bloodline she came from. And I like the underdogs as well.
Right.
And I feel like she was definitely an underdog in the women's division at that time. And up until recently, she's no longer that underdog because now she's a champion.
Yeah.
Now she's a women's tag team champion.
I love
Not
that.
24/7, even though 24/7 was technically her very first championship within 10 years. Like I said earlier, it should not have been that. It should have been just adding to the list of champions she
Yeah.
already had. You understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like with Tamina, she stood for something. She really didn't let it get to her as much as she didn't let it show on screen as much as you would have liked for her to show it because she was that
Hmm.
quiet, mysterious one. So you really never know what you're gonna get. Even when she was like in Team Bad, you never knew what she was gonna get. And then
Yeah.
also in Team Bad, she started to like be more vocal a little bit. She started to show her like comical side a bit, and so
I
that's why I
love that
like Tamina.
you.
I always wrote out for her.
Yeah, same here. And I love that you pointed out her being more vocal and everything because, she's one of those people that I began to like more once in her and like Shayna Baszler, I use as an example, where I'm sure WWE's initial intention was for us to be scared of Shayna Baszler and like she's so mean and she doesn't smile and all of that. And like as soon as and I was never really sold on Shayna Baszler like that, but as soon as I saw her like break on like Raw Talk talking to like our truth. And once I saw like on social media that she's actually funny and she actually has like an awesome personality, that's actually what made me like Shayna Baszler more and become a fan. And I think with Tamina, when she was feuding with Bailey and Sasha briefly last year, and that's something else we've talked about in previous episodes that we wish they did more with that because Tamina was on social media and you can tell that she was coming out of her shell and she was actually like, going for it and, doing awesome promos and, where I'm excited, Tamina has the mic. And not saying she was ever bad, but they always positioned her as like this big, strong, I don't talk, I'm the bodyguard type. So once she stepped out of that, that's when I really started rooting for her. When she was feuding with Bailey and she had that championship match last year in 2020, I was like, oh, okay, like I want to see more of this. And then of course they just cut it short, and that's when I got excited. And now, to see a year later that it's coming, she actually has gotten her due.
Right. I agree. Um, we're long overdue. I just want to see more now. Like, I don't want them
Yeah.
to feel like I don't want them to. And it's sad that I'm about to say this, but I don't want them to have that Sasha run in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I want them to be as competitive as Bailey and Sasha were. Naomi, sorry, says she talking about me. Well, if she talking about me, she did reply back to my text message, but never
Mm-hmm.
mind. Nia and Shayna's run, like I feel like at a point they were serious, and at a point they kind of took it for a joke.
Right.
You add Reginald to the mix.
So annoying.
Sorry, you
It was
add
a
Reginald to the mix. You like you're showing a different side of you on TikTok, and Nia has always been funny and goofy and stuff on social media, but then you carry that onto the TV side and in the ring. Not saying that you can't be, funny and comical, but there's a time and a place for everything. Like now you're
yeah.
just embarrassed, like you're embarrassing her. Like she's the bigger girl. You're gonna expect her to be clumsy, this, that, and the third. And yeah, it's funny, but to a certain extent, like how many times do I have to embarrass myself and I'm a champion? You
Yeah.
understand? Like they never did like that to Stone Cold. They never did anything like that to The Rock. They never did to Triple H. All these men that came before. So why do it to these women now?
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think what Tamina was great, and we talk about too, is like that locker room leadership. And everyone
Hmm.
talks about Tamina's presence backstage and how she's, someone that's wise and people can go to, and her and Natalia. So I think even just them two being able to hold the championships and now be more of that locker room leader because they hold gold, and just seeing like the outpour of support that the other wrestlers showed for them really shows like that people like respected them. And Tamina did some fun things in her career. Like she had that romance with Santino. She
She had a
participated
romance with Santino.
Santino.
That's what you said. She had a romance with Santino.
Yeah, like a brief storyline with him.
I mean, if they like it, I guess.
Yeah, very early, and they always try that. But yeah, so she had that. She participated in a lot of championship things, battle royals, diva cut matches, but she never quite won the championship. And then she teamed with Alicia Fox for a little bit, and then I had forgot about this, that she was a valet for one half of Crime Time, and that was also brief.
Who was in Crime Time?
JTG and Shad
Chad
Gasper.
Gaspar.
Yeah. And he actually passed
So
a year
I
ago
had a
today, which
feel.
is
Yeah, I'm about to say today actually makes a year since he passed, and I'm just
crazy.
like, damn, it's been a year already.
Yep. Yep.
Like it just
That
seems like
quick.
a few days ago or a few months ago, not a
That was
whole
so
year.
tragic.
So
So rest
keep
in
resting
peace.
easy, shot. You always a hero in our eyes.
Yeah, for sure. And then this was a dream sort of matchup that I would like to see today now, actually, is she had a lot of championship matches against Beth Phoenix. Of course, not capturing the championship, but I think now those two could even put on a show if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's not even a thought.
Kind of want to put that into existence now, just like how we did with
Let's
the
get-
Natalia and the Tamina thing. I want to like put that into existence.
It's gonna
Let's
happen. They're
make
gonna have to
that
run us our
happen.
check. We still waiting on our checks, WWE.
At some point, like that needs to come through. She participated in WrestleMania 30, the Vicky Guerrero Invitational match. So now we're in like the 2014-2015 year. So at this point, she's been with the company, or at least on the main roster, for about 5 years. And she forms Team Bad with Naomi and Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
So we always talk about Team Bad. We love talking about the 9 women that were involved in all of that. How did you particularly feel about Tamina being in Team Bad? Did you want to see her in that place? Do you think she should have been in another group? What are your thoughts on the
I feel like
Divas
Tamina.
Revolution?
I know. I feel like Tamina being in Team Bad was good because she was getting that shine. I feel like if she was somewhere else, like to be honest, we rarely saw the other women. Like we saw Natty with TJ and Cesaro, and like around that time they were like losing matches or winning matches with some goofy spoof or whatever. We saw we rarely saw anybody else. To be honest, Emma was kind of gone, or getting ready for her comeback. Eva Marie,
Mhm.
um, Summer Rae, I think she had just left or was about to leave. Um, and all the other ones, Maria was gone. Kelly was gone. Melina was gone. So it was just like it was good to see. I am so sorry. It was good to see her being on TV and her getting more spotlight and shine. Um, with family. That Naomi's
Yeah,
her cousin, like her cousin in law by marriage. And then to have Sasha up there too, who's fresh off of NXT. She just dropped the belt to Bailey the night before, the weekend of. So, or the weekend before, I should say. So it was good to see Tamina up there. I wouldn't change that at all.
I agree. And Sasha Banks also talks about how Naomi and Tamina made the main roster transition, very, easy for her. It was very supportive and there for her. So that was good to hear as well. And I agree with Team Bad. I have my thoughts on it. That might even be a fun episode just to go through their story, but or just everything. But Tamina, it was good. It worked. It worked for me. Like the three of them, perfect. And then they had a triple threat, and that was kind of the end of Team Bad. And now we're in like
Hmm.
2017, and this is where I get excited to talk about because I was actually like watching wrestling regularly at this point again, and it wasn't just like me kind of like looking back. And she was in the first Money in the Bank ladder match, so that's something. We love the history making matches, so
Oh, you was asking me because you
oh
just
no
said
no
so. It.
no, I was saying like I love that she was a part of that. And those matches they always kill to me. Like all the
Yeah,
women
true,
bring it.
true.
Like I'm never disappointed in any of the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Even the cinematic one last year was funny. I'm excited to
I feel
see
like that
this
was one of
one.
my favorite ones.
It was funny. It was pretty funny. Um, and I think was Tamina in that one.
I think she was also in Elimination Chamber, the tag team one.
Yep, she
I
totally
think
was.
when Sasha and Bailey became the first women's tag team champions.
Yep, she totally was, and she had a good she had good spots in that match, her and Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mine was the whole fucking glass.
yeah, and it was to the point where I was okay with if they won. Like I was like that would I'm okay with that. At the time, of course, I was rooting for Sasha and Bailey probably,
You
but
definitely
looking
were.
back, I'm like that would have been okay. But she was in a lot of history making moments and being a part of like the Divas Evolution, Royal Rumble 2018, and then she challenged for the tag team championships with Nia Jax at WrestleMania 35. So she was a part of big moments. That was the first time those
Mm-hmm.
championships were defended at WrestleMania. So like sometimes like with championships, like yes, I do think she should have had a Divas championship run. But when you look back on like wrestling careers, like sometimes when you don't think about championships and you count like the little wins, like you can say you've had a decent career. Like Tamina has had a decent career. Like she could have been featured more, of course, but she's done a lot of things. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. She has done a lot. Um, so we definitely can never discredit Tamina. She is a quiet but pivotal part of the women's evolution.
Yeah,
She was a part of it when it first came about, when it first happened. So yeah, we can never take anything from Tamina. We definitely gonna give her flowers while she's here to smell them.
agree, agree. And then she came back, was in the 2020 Royal Rumble, and she was in. I don't know if she was injured or she was just off TV for a while, but she started appearing for the chase for the 24/7 championship, and she won it. And that was her, we've discussed it before, but that was a cool moment. And her feud with Bailey and Sasha, I think, was great. One, because it was during the pandemic era, and I think they were kind of trying a lot of different things. And I think that was the perfect time for Tamina to get in the mix, because WWE didn't have to judge it over a crowd. It could just be like, okay, how are people responding to this? And one thing about social media, people write out for their, just because they're not popular on TV doesn't mean they don't have fans. And Tamina is one of those people that has fans, and we have been writing out for her for a long time. So when we seen her finally in the championship picture having that match with Bailey, we were rooting for her. The fans were rooting for her, and then we were like, okay, what's next? So now she's teamed with Natalia again, and now here we come to present day. We can finally say that Tamina is a
Yep. Congratulations, Tamina.
champion.
Well deserved. Long overdue.
Yeah,
Don't drop the belt. Um, I think
I'm
that's
so
it. Is
curious.
it not?
Yeah. Well, I guess I would like to just see like what's next for Tamina, and I think it's so soon because again, as we're recording this, Backlash just the SmackDown before Backlash when she won the championship with Natalia just happened, so I can't really judge how the reign is going, but I do hope, like you said earlier, that their reign is competitive, that they do exactly what the other past champions have done and keep those titles prestigious. Natalia and Nia Jax and Shayna were everywhere. They were on NXT, they were on Raw, they were on SmackDown. I want all of the tag team champions to be treated that way, but I hope that Tamina and Natalia get a chance to prove themselves, especially Tamina. I want to give her more mic time. I want her to show more of herself, because you can't do this forever, and I want her to have a nice, good run before
I
she
agree.
retires.
I absolutely agree. Not
For
even
sure.
want to sit there and hold you with that. Well, I guess we just have to see where it goes.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
Agreed. Agreed.
this was a real fun, short episode.
It
It was
was.
fun. It was short. Short, sweet,
It
to the point.
was. I can't wait for like a couple of years we do like a follow up and see like where Tamina's career has gone.
Maybe
So,
we'll have her on the show. Who knows?
ooh, that in the
Hmm.
universe.
Got to
That in the
speak these things to
universe.
existence, honey.
Yes, we really do.
All right,
Mhm.
y'all. Thank you for joining us once again on another Spotlight episode. You can definitely let us know what you think, what we forgot. Just definitely add. Make sure you subscribe, like, retweet, reshare everything about us, about this episode. Follow us. We'll follow back. Join our discussion groups. We'll definitely accept you. And on that note, it's your girl, Krista B.
And Queen PR.
We are out. Bye.
Bye.